Hi everyone, so welcome back to Prioritize Like a CEO. So if you're still here, it means you're serious about taking control of your time, your team, and your business. And today, we're diving into something that separates high-performing businesses from those just going with the flow. So it's strategic planning. Now I get it. So strategic planning sounds like one of the buzzwords that corporate execs throw around in boardrooms. But in reality, it's the foundation of every successful business. So whether you're leading a small startup or scaling an established company, having a clear strategy ensures that you're just reacting to problems, but proactively designing your business's future. So before we can map out where we want to go, we need to understand where we are right now. So this is called situation appraisal. So it's an honest look at your business's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So ask yourself, what's working well? Where are the bottlenecks? Are customers happy? Is revenue growing? Or are operations smooth? So to do this effectively, you have to measure the right metrics across these core areas. First is sales. For example, sales is to track monthly revenue, conversion rates, average transaction size. For customer service, is monitor support response and resolution times. For customer satisfaction, use the NPS, reviews, and post-purchase surveys. For employee satisfaction, you can check your retention, absenteeism, and run anonymous surveys. And for innovation, you track new products, process improvements, or ideas implemented. So, without assessing these key areas with real measurable data, you risk setting goals that sound good on paper but miss the real problems in business. So, once you have a clear picture of your current situation, the next step is goal setting. So, not vague aspirations like, say, grow the business. We're talking about clear, actionable, measurable goals. So, instead of vague goals like increase sales or improve service, focus on specific, measurable, and time-bound objectives that align with your company's bigger vision. And also, it's aligned with your current situation appraisal. So another example is instead of saying increase sales, let's say grow revenue by 20% from last year, or in the next quarter by launching a new product line or optimizing our sales funnel. For customer service, you can say reduce customer complaints by 30% and improve first response time to under 2 hours within 6 months. So your goals serve as stepping stones toward the business you're trying to build. So ask yourself, where do I want the business to be a year from now? Then break it down by department. Let's now proceed with sample departmental goals. So for sales, you can say increase conversion rate from 15 to 25% by the end of Q3, or generate new qualified leads per month through inbound campaigns, or shorten sales cycle from 30 to 21 days by streamlining the proposal process. For marketing, let's say grow social media following by 50% and engagement rate by 20% in the next 90 days. Or launch 3 automation funnels that convert at least 5% next quarter, or increase website traffic by 40% through targeted SEO and content marketing. For customer service, let's say we want to achieve improved customer satisfaction, or resolve 90% of tickets within 24 hours. Say if your current situation is you just resolve 70% from last year, let's try to solve it 90% within 24 hours. Or probably reduce refund request by 15%. So by improving onboarding and FAQ content. For operations, if you are doing order fulfillment, so try to improve it by 99.5%. Again, based on your last year's data. Or decrease inventory holding cost by 10%. So this is through better forecasting. And automate at least 3 manual workflows to increase operational efficiency. Some of us, we would like to do everything in a year, but this one is more an agile approach. For finance, mostly about cash flow, reducing the accounts receivable aging. You can also try to cut unnecessary expense by an X percentage, like 10% in this case. Or maintain a gross margin of 60% or higher across all product lines. So this is important, especially if you have a balance sheet where you can analyze the current ratio, and from those ratios in your balance sheet, you try to improve each one of them. For HR, you can try to increase employee satisfaction, say by 25%, or reduce voluntary turnover, or implement leadership program for all teams within the next 6 months. For R&D, if your DNA as a company is more product-based, or you want to keep on improving, then try to also set goals from launching 2 new product features, for example, based on customer feedback, or test 5 new product ideas, at least 1 to market in the next 12 months. If you're selling a software, then you can reduce bug reports by 40% through improved QA processes. So basically, when goals are this clear, your team knows what success looks like. And you as the CEO can better track progress and make faster and smarter decisions. So now let's talk about strategic thinking. So it's part of the strategic planning. This is the bridge between goals and your actions. So you have the goal as the top level, then strategy is the middle level, and then the actions are the action items. Now that we know where we are and where we want to go, let's talk about how we'll get there. This is where, again, strategy comes in. High-level approaches that guide decision making. So some examples here is that if your goal sales to increase revenue, then, your strategy is to expand your product line or improve digital marketing or optimize your sales funnel. If your goal is to boost productivity, you can implement agile workflows, automate repetitive tasks, or restructure for better collaboration. Then below the strategies are your action items and tactics. So how will you make it happen? So it has to be specific. So again, strategy is only a concept until it's backed up by action items. The what, who, and the when. If the strategy is to expand your product line, so one action is to conduct market research, build prototypes, and launch, say, a beta version by July 2025. So it's also important that you set a certain target month or quarter for a specific action item. So it has to be measurable and time bound. For another example, say if you want to improve sales performance, then one tactic or action item here is to train sales team, refine your pitch, and boost your lead generation. So this is where planning meets execution. Assign responsibilities, set deadlines, and track progress. So to make this process easier, I have created a strategic planning template you can download below. So this will help you clarify your current business state, set measurable goals, identify aligned strategies, and map out tactical steps and progress. So this isn't just theory. So this is a proven framework I've used in my own businesses and with my clients. So let's now talk about how to run this with your team. Let's start with the session setup, ideal time frame, and the format. So schedule 2 to 3 half-day sessions, about 3 to 4 hours each, then spread over 1 to 2 weeks. Schedule in the morning when the energy is high. So this gives space for deep thinking, collaboration, and reflection. Next is who should join the planning session. Obviously, the founder or CEO has to be there, the head of sales for marketing, ops, finance, and HR, probably one frontline team member for ground level insights. So ideal size is about 5 to 8 people. So per session, here are the suggested agenda per 4 sessions. So where are we now? Session 1, so review data, SWOT analysis. Session 2 is where do we want to go? The vision, the goals, and prioritization. And then session 3 is how do we get there? The initiatives, the owners, and the timelines. So these are suggested tools that you can use during your planning. Of course, the whiteboard, sticky notes, digital tools like Miro, Trello, or Notion. And then again, keep it visual, collaborative, and focus. So follow through is everything. Summarize your strategic plan in a shared doc or dashboard. Review progress monthly or quarterly. Remember, it's a living document, not a one-time exercise. The next videos, we're gonna talk about more on how to execute these things using automation and proper delegation. I'll see you in the next lesson.